lived up to its pledge.
Do you think helping the Palestinians is throwing money at them so they feel more comfortable under occupation?
Or is helping the Palestinians
ending the occupation?
Do you think helping the
That's not up to the
Palestinians
Arabs.
is not giving them the money that you pledged them? Is that good help?
My goal as a Palestinian is not to live comfortably under occupation. My goal is
Nobody
to
was
end that
suggesting.
occupation.
Wouldn't you like the money that was pledged?
How dare you treat me as if I just want the money? I want my freedom.
Wouldn't you like
Where
the
is
money
your
that was
contribution
pledged?
for the freedom?
Who pays the salary of the Palestinian Authority?
I'm getting paid by the Norwegians.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
The reason the Arabs focus on it is because they raise it at every conceivable opportunity.
The Arabs have failed the Palestinian people because they don't pay Michael Tarazi's salary. Well, that's great. Thank you, Tim.
And they don't give you the kinds of conditions to work
The
in the
United
other
Arab-
country, in Lebanon, for instance, which
You know
Hussein
what?
Ibish
And I'm
talked about.
I'm surprised the ambassador
you don't
didn't
speak
say
out
this,
about that.
actually.
Why not?
Well, you know what? Because that's not my goal. I was born in Kuwait, and
You
Kuwait
don't care
treated
about
me
the
very...
conditions of
No.
Palestinians in other Arab countries.
I was born in an Arab country, and I am very grateful to Kuwait for giving me an opportunity that no other country did. We did very well in Kuwait.
So I'm all right, Jack, and I don't care about the
but
refugee camps in Lebanon.
I'm an example of the fact that not everyone's in a refugee camp in Lebanon, so why
But
do we
what about
focus
those
on
who
it?
are?
Look,
No interest to you whatsoever.
of course there's an interest, but our goal is not to be integrated into Arab countries. Our goal is to liberate our own country. And with that
Or
regard,
to avoid
the Arabs have
mistreatment
helped.
from Arab countries. You don't even mind about the mistreatment from Arab countries.
We're mistreated not just in Arab countries. Have you looked at the United States
but we're
past
talking
September
about
11th?
the Arab countries here.
Why?
We're talking about
That's
the
my
Arab
whole
countries
question.
here.
Why do you keep focusing on the
Because
Arabs?
they raise the issue of the Palestinians continually.
Thankfully, and that's actually evidence
You
of the
can't
fact
have
that
it
they do
both
help
ways. You're
us.
arguing
Of
from
course
one
I
side
can.
and from the other. You want your cake and eat it.
Of course I can have it both ways.
But you don't care about the Palestinians, the refugee camps who have no cake.
They actually do. Well, you know what? It's not like America's opening its doors to us. Why don't you blame them?
Michael Tarazi, thank you very much. Hussein Ibish, you want to come in here, and then I'm going to take some questions.
No, you got him in that huge contradiction. But I mean, what I want to point out is that Michael's statement actually made our case for us perfectly. He said, they fought wars. They failed, but they fought wars. Then they failed, but then they put a diplomatic resolution. It failed. You know, there's a kind of punctuation in your entire speech that came back to recognizing the truth of the proposition on the table, which is that Arab states, have they tried things? Yes. Are we saying they've done nothing at all? No, we're not. What we're saying is, have they failed? Yes.
Gentleman on the right there.
Yes, my question is from Mr. Tarazi. Why won't rich Arab countries help Palestinian refugees financially? Why are they living in such bad conditions?
They are actually helping. I mean, the United Arab Emirates, I think, is spending $100 million in Gaza to recreate an entire city for housing for Palestinian refugees in Gaza. So I don't know what the basis of your question is.
$100 million?
I think it's approximately $100 million.
$100 million.
Perhaps less, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know the exact amount, but it's a
100
lot of money.
million.
I'm sorry. They're spending a lot. They're spending more than $1 million, let's say. I mean, they're spending money on... I thought it was a lot of money, but...
Billions. We need billions.
Who's we? Are you Palestinian now?
I'm saying in order to achieve the result that we all agree on.
But I don't know the basis of your question. They are actually bringing...
I mean, what do you want me to do? Because I'm not a Palestinian, walk away from this issue?
No, but you said we. I don't know who's
exactly.
We need billions. Who's we?
We, the people of goodwill in this world, the intelligent, reasonable people of the world.
I would agree with Mr. Ibish's description of what the role of the Arab countries should be, helping the Palestinians realize the conditions to create their own state. This is exactly what we've been trying to do. Yeah. That is why it is preposterous to hear somebody say that Egypt is playing the role of policeman to the Israelis. This is utter nonsense. I mean, what we are trying to do, is help the Palestinians in Gaza build their authority and reaffirm the authority of the national Palestinian state.
Why is the Egyptian army
We are not playing the role
Gaza
of policemen. This is not only outrageous, it is preposterous.
But
it
you
is not
don't
true.
police any
We are
borders
not
normally.
playing the role. We are sitting on the borders between Palestinians and Egyptians.
But why
No
are you
Israelis
putting
are
your
involved in
army
this thing.
on the border?
We
All right.
are helping the Palestinians. We have the right to defend our borders.
No,
I mean, this is
defend
very
from
clear.
whom?
So
From
don't
whom?
any border.
From
I mean,
whom?
the
From
borders
the
with any country,
Palestinians?
you defend them.
From the Palestinians?
Aren't you responsible
Or are
for the
you
borders of your
actually-
country with any
or
other
are you
country?
actually
I would ask you,
Are you
not to
there
say preposterous
to actually
things,
do
because
Israel's
this is
dirty work
for us?
preposterous.
Could
This
one
is
person speak,
insulting.
please?
This is not true.
And let me hear from the audience. The lady in the fourth row there, please.
My question is directed to the people for the motion. You say that the Arab governments have failed them, but maybe the Palestinians are asking too much of the Arab governments.
Ghada, Karmi, would you like to answer that?
I understand that question, you know, because I actually referred to it in my statement. Yes, I think it may be asking too much of them for the reason that I tried to say, which is that the Arab governments are caught in a trap. They depend on American favor. I cannot stress this too much. And if they challenge Israel and really fight Israel, which is what we need, we don't need money, we need somebody to fight our enemy, to help us. They can't fight Israel because they know that they will incur American anger and they cannot afford to do that.
Are you happy with that answer?
In that sense, you're right.
Are you happy with that answer? Please stand up. Please stand up. Are you happy with that answer?
But maybe you're asking the Arab governments to risk too much, to risk relations with other countries maybe, for the Palestinians.
But
you expect the Arab governments to be more pro-Palestinian than the Palestinians, basically. You're not going to be happy till the entire Middle East is occupied.
Can I answer the question
If
from the
I
floor,
ask
please?
the Lebanese state to treat the Palestinians living in Lebanon as full human
That's not the
beings,
question.
that is not asking too much.
That's the question.
That is not,
The question- the questioner can express her own
It goes
question.
to the question.
What
It
was
goes
the
to the question.
Look, she asked me the
Are
question.
we asking too much?
She
That's
asked
the
me,
question.
are we asking too much? I gave her a very honest answer because we on this side are actually speaking very honestly. We're not playing games.
And let me say we're not. No, and let me say we're not in full agreement here. I take a slightly different view than Ghada does. I want two things that are not asking too much and that are not going to bring Arab states into conflict with the United States. One is treat the Palestinians who live in your countries decently. That the United States is not going to object to. It will have no problem if Lebanon stops abusing Palestinians in Lebanon and restricting them and keeping them in these miserable conditions. Number two, help the Palestinians to develop a plausible, serious, realistic national strategy for liberation that involves the full complexity and move away from this horrible rhetoric about steadfastness and martyrdom, this
all right.
nationalistic
That's,
rubbish.
We've covered that in a sense.
I mean, this is past history. I mean, what
Oh,
we're
no,
trying
it's
to do
present Don't you
is
read the
they
paper?
help to help Palestinians in a negotiating process to regain their rights.
All right.
I mean, what he's talking about is old history.
You made that
Oh,
point.
oh,
Lady in
dear.
the first row,
Oh,
please.
dear.
Can we take your question, please? Can we get a microphone to you? Thank you. Please stand up, will you?
Dr. Ibish, since I'm Lebanese and I'm one that support the Palestinian cause, but you mentioned 4 or 5 times about the abusing of the Palestinian in Lebanon. Yes, it is a shameful point, but you never mentioned that the Lebanese was supporting the Palestinian cause. Lebanon was a battlefield for the Palestinian, for the resistance.
Oh, yes,
we
I did.
paid, no, Lebanon had paid.
Yes.
And I think we
Oh,
are
yes,
still
I did,
paying for
but
the
yes, I did
Palestinian.
mention it. I would agree with you. The Lebanese have paid a heavy price. More, actually, let me say that the integrity and the future of the Lebanese state has been called into question on a number of occasions. The Lebanese have paid a very high price, much more than most of the Arab societies. At the same time, the treatment of the Palestinians in Lebanon has been both are true.
Lady in the front row.
Mr. Ahmed, after all this peace agreements and Camp David negotiations, and Egypt have a very long history with Israel, how can you define very clearly your relation, I mean the Egyptian government relation with Israel now, and how does this relation help the Palestinian?
I think our relations with Israel are relations that are geared in particular to helping solving the Palestinian problem. There is no country that has been more involved in attempts to solve the Palestinian problem. And what we are trying to do now is help the Palestinians recuperate their land. It is not by criticizing the policies of Egypt that you will achieve what the Palestinians want, because in fact, the Palestinian Authority, which is representative of the Palestinian people, appreciates the efforts of Egypt, supports the efforts of Egypt, and the impediment to an agreement is Israel. So our friends here should address the position of Israel and those who support Israel, not those who are trying to help the Palestinians, have achieved results for the Palestinians, will continue to achieve results for the Palestinians. I'm very astonished at a position taken that pretends not to recognize all the efforts that Egypt has achieved, that Arab countries have been exerting, and the real impediment is those who do not recognize these efforts and try to make it appear as if the Arab countries are not trying to help the Palestinian cause. This is against the position of the Palestinian Authority.
Let me just return to the questioner for a moment.
No, I mean, they are more Palestinians than the Palestinian Authority itself. It's an amazing situation.
Can I ask if you were happy with that answer? Do you accept what Ahmed Maher said?
Actually,